Stuart?
Yes, Larry.
Hi. Can you talk about reaching the level of acceptance of yourself and and acceptance of 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 others in your life?
Well, you know, those two things really go together. Because once you can truly accept yourself, which means liking yourself, loving yourself, you know, finding in yourself the worthiness to have a wonderful life, to be a happy person. I mean, just a simple act of doing that will enable you to begin to accept what goes on in other people, to recognize that most people have no training in inner work. Most people have no consciousness of spirit inside themselves. They live according to the dictates of the mind. And we can't live with expectations about the way other people will act. Because once you have expectations about the way other people will act, you're always going to be disappointed. But just being strong enough inside, you know, to deal with however people act. And, you know, projecting the kind of energy, you understand? I mean, I'm very convinced over years that we receive in life exactly what we give off. And if we change inside, understand, if what we're giving off is full of joy, love, happiness, you know, you're going to receive that back. You know, you attract people that really want to interact with you that way. And, you know, and yes, there are other things in life, and I'm not innocent, you know. I mean, there are wars and there all kinds of madness goes on in the world. You know, but the single most important thing is to build an inner life, you know, that truly connects us to God, to higher energy, and gives us the strength not to be sucked dry by all the madness that goes on in the world. Accept ourselves with our limitations, with our faults, with our problems. And then from that point, we can really work to clear up all the things that, you know, that are making life for us, you know, making us unhappy inside. I mean, all of this is really important, you know, because, you know, in order to, you know, have a spiritual life, never mind a spiritual life, just to live in the world and, you know, not spend your life being neurotic and unhappy and miserable and, you know, judging everybody and putting yourself through endless conflict that creates all kinds of anxiety and neurosis inside people. We have to accept ourselves, but people can't just accept themselves. They need to have the inner strength that enables them to do it. That's what these meditation classes are about. These meditation classes are not a spiritual life. They're about building the inner strength that enables us to truly accept who we are, to be able to live with ourselves every day, to like ourselves, to be able to recognize that limitations and problems and things are not the end of our life. They're the opportunity to truly transform ourselves inside so that we can truly get above the things that are making us unhappy and miserable. So it's not just like, I'm going to accept myself. Yeah, and 2 minutes later, the mind is going crazy and, you know, things are happening and we're complaining about this and we're watching the news and the world is falling apart, and, you know, and we get lost. But yes, I want to change. I want to accept myself. I will make the effort to build a system inside me that will enable me to do that.
Thank you, Stuart.
I don't know, honestly, Larry and everyone else, I don't know another way to do it. I mean, yeah, when I was, it used to come New Year's and you'd make all these resolutions, and 2 days later, nothing worked. And then you would be guilty and make yourself crazy. And it didn't work because we don't have the system inside to make it work. We don't have a system inside that enables us to keep our hearts open. So we spend all our time being, drawn into, it's like a great, vacuum cleaner called life that sucks all our energy out of us. And only because we don't have the capacity to sustain inner balance, open heart, quiet minds. When problems go away, I mean, most of the problems we have, we manufacture, in our own minds, and they become physical problems, they become mental problems. We manufacture them. And that's always an excuse why we can't do well. I'm not feeling well today. My God, I can't tell you the things that happened to me that I'm still here doing my inner work. Because I know it's the only way I can get past all of that stuff. I can learn to live with all of those things. I can learn to accept people, to not judge people. I mean, if I sat here and judged people, there would be nobody sitting in this class. Because I've never met a human being that doesn't have something wrong with them. My life. So, just building an inner life that enables me to say, okay, we all have these problems, but we can get past them. We can get strong enough to build a system inside that enables us to transcend all of those problems. And what's killing us can give us life. Instead of being upset that we have all these problems, okay, this is what I have to work against. How do I do it? What do I have to do to get big enough inside to get past these problems? So the problems become not negative, they're positive. They're telling you you've got to work on yourself. Anyway, I talk about this a lot. And it's all very human. Look, I'm not perfect. Nobody here is perfect. God is perfect. The rest of us, we have to deal with our imperfections every day. And you learn how to use them to get closer to God, to have a spiritual life. Look, a lot has changed for me in the last few months, really has changed in such a profound way that every day I've got to get used to living with myself this way. And it's gone from, fighting some enormous battle in myself to get to just mellowing out, embracing, love, embracing the heart chakra. They say all the time, God is love, and it's true. But as long as we're like dragons fighting some kind of war inside ourselves, all of that love slips right past us. all of that sweetness, that joy, that happiness, it goes right past us. God is love. And we need to learn to mellow, to have sweetness and love inside us, and that not only in ourselves, but for the family, our friends, or the people in our lives. Does anyone have a question? Anyone else have a question? I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. The cosmos, the universe, God, higher energy, whatever you want to call it, it's just waiting for human beings to get their acts together. They're waiting. There's so much knowledge. There's so much wisdom. There's so much Shakti, energy, spirit, that exists in the universe. And it's all just waiting for people to build an inner life that is strong enough to receive it. I mean, this is a very good way to look at the world, because then you stop blaming everybody else and you take responsibility. All of that wisdom, every book ever written, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, every book ever written, understand, is inside every single human being and can be read by opening and developing a system that allows us to tune in to energy that's infinite.
It's 2 o'clock.
To God, spirit, whatever you want to call it. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? I wish you were all here. We're having these wonderful classes here in person. They're so profound and deep, and they're changing me. I'm telling you, I'm just because I don't even recognize who the hell I am anymore. I'm just becoming a different person. And I kind of like what's happening. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, I have just an announcement. I told you all Sunday that on Thursday, I have to get this dental treatment that they're going to stick needles in my gums and numb me. And it's very strong. And I have to have a crown, prepared to have a crown put in my, and it's, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have a class on Thursday. But there will be a class next Sunday, and you can always go on YouTube and Facebook, and I have all these talks that I've given. There's hundreds of them. So God bless you all, and thank you for being here and being part of my life, and helping me become what's happening to me now is all part of these classes and your presence and the work that we do together. So God bless you all. And I'm looking forward to seeing. If you don't get an invite for class on Thursday, don't freak out. I'm just having my teeth worked on.
Stuart?
Yes.
I have on mind a question. They are saying that the Quran is come from Muhammad. And my mind is thinking, did Muhammad had a system to talk to God and to write?
Look, every religion has a system. Every religion started from the grace of God on the highest levels of spirit, and through dogma and human mind, they all develop systems, I'm not interested in systems. I'm interested in what energy force created the Quran, look, the Sufis are, a whole different element, you know? And that's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in all the dogma and the righteousness and all these concepts and precepts that people have that create so much madness in the world.
I don't quite understand what is religion and what is we are doing now.
Huh?
I don't understand quite. I can separate from religion and that we are doing here.
Well, there's no dogma in what I do. I don't tell you what to eat. You know, I don't tell you who to have relationships with. I don't tell you who to vote for. You know, that if you're not learn what I teach, you know, then you'll be banned from, you know, I mean, the only thing I ask is don't smoke dope.
Okay.
That's my only rule. Don't smoke dope. Okay. Other than that, I don't get involved in people's lives, and you can, whatever religion you believe in it. I'm not here to tell you not to be Christian or Jewish or Islam or only follow me. I'm not here, I don't do that.
Mm.
If my teacher did that, I would have never followed him.
Mm.
Understand?
Understand. We have to find ourselves what is good for ourselves.
Every religion is, you know, look, every religion has its source. You know, and at the source of every religion is really mystical, spiritual things that are extraordinary. You know, I wrote I just finished a book of poems I wrote, and there were 4 poems. This is really an interesting story, okay? There are 4 poems in that about the summer, spring, winter, and fall. They're very short. They're almost like haiku in Japanese poetry, you know, but the main character in them is a character called Shekhinah. Shekhinah in the Kabbalah, in the Jewish religion, was the bride of God. In the really ancient, mystical Jewish, you know, religion, in the Kabbalah, Shekhinah was the bride of God. And I'll tell you that what's interesting, I was sitting I used to write lyrics for a group of Japanese people that used to put on concerts in New York. And every time they wanted to do a concert, they would call me up and ask me to send them things, you know? So I'm sitting in Egypt, and this is a true story. I'm sitting in the Hilton Hotel looking out over the Nile on a terrace, and I get a phone call. We need lyrics. You know, we're doing a concert in a couple of months, and we need to have lyrics so we can create the songs. We want to do all original songs. So I sat down, I thought, okay, I came up with these 4 poems about Shekhinah. These are all Japanese Buddhists, you know, singing about Shekhinah from this poems that were created in Egypt. I mean, the thing was hysterical, you know? And I went to hear the concert, and they wrote such beautiful songs for these things. Such beautiful songs, you know? So I'm not a person with dogma. I don't like dogma. And I don't, you know, people want to be, you know, whatever religion they follow. Okay, I respect it, and I'm not going to tell them not to do it. Whatever the precepts of the religion are and they follow it, it's fine with me, you know? Because what I teach is not religion. What I teach is deep spiritual work, building a system inside that'll enable you to find the depth of who you are as a human being. And that can take you through religion. It can take you through, you can do what I do and be an agnostic. You can be an atheist. I don't care. I mean, I happen to believe in God, you know? But I don't care about those things. I only care that a human being truly wants to grow in their life. They want to change, they want to grow. And I always tell people, I am not the teacher. I am somebody, Melissa came from my in-person, she brought me a t-shirt, Kundalini aerobic instructor. I love it. And, you know, that's what I do. I train people to build systems in themselves so they can find their true self. And I'm not interested in preaching religion or, you know, anything like that. I have no dogma. I train people to build an inner life that is strong enough so they can find their true self, their unique individual connection with God. That's what these classes are about.
I understand a bit better now. I grew up in Yugoslavia. We was a communist land. We didn't learn about God or religion. But afterwards, I began just to pray in Islam's way. And I'm never going so deeply in Islam and to practice everything. I just do what I
I'll tell you
think.
another great story, okay? And then it's finished because I got to go. I was in Jerusalem, and I used to love to go to the Temple Mount, to the, you know, the Al-Aqsa, whatever, that wonderful golden temple mosque up there, you know? And I used to love to go there. And I used to love to go there because in the center of that mosque, there's this huge boulder, you know, and it's the place where they believe, at least the Islamic people, that Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac on that boulder, you know? Mm-hmm. And I looked at that, and to me, Abraham was always faith, the mind, the connection, you know, with God. Isaac was always the heart, total surrender. Mm-hmm. On this foundation, which is the boulder, and you look right up, and there's this extraordinary mandala that takes you endlessly into the cosmos. And I would stand there and see this thing, and it would take me into a really deep meditation. And I would say, this is the work I teach. Here they are, you know, thousands of years ago, they understood Kundalini yoga in their own way, you know? Yeah. It was amazing. Anyway, I went to sit down to meditate in the mosque. There were all these Islamic people sitting there and doing their prayers. And I said, and some guy comes running from one side of the mosque screaming at me, "You're not a Muslim, you can't sit here." So I got up, I didn't want to start World War III. And I said, okay, I won't sit, I'll stand and meditate. But it showed me the dogma and the purity of a religion, the purity of spirit in the same.
I don't know so much about Islam, well, but I know a little bit that if I want to, for example, to marry with a Christian, well, look, he can be Muslim, and it's just.
No, Flora, I don't want to get into a conversation about this.
Okay, really, but I think people, they don't act after the religion all the time. They do wrong things.
Well, to me, I was standing in a great mosque and I found the source of Islam. The source, right there in front of me. And that I was almost chased out of the mosque by somebody living according to the dictates of the religion, you know? So, I mean, it didn't matter to me. I just bowed to the guy and I said, it's all right, don't worry, I won't sit. I'm a white guy here, you know, I won't sit down. And I just did the meditation standing up. Anyway, these are just things that have happened to me in my life, you know? And there's no dogma here. You believe what you want to believe. All I ask people is build an inner life that is strong enough so that you can find your true self. That's all I want.
I understand better now. Thank you.
Okay. Well, anyway, I didn't plan on talking this long, but okay, it was interesting. God bless you all and thank you. And I will see everybody. If not on Thursday, then next Sunday. And bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.